F-22 was called untouchable. Then China caught up. Now the US Air Force is spending nearly $15 billion to rewrite the balance of air power. New engines, new weapons, new sensors. This isn't an upgrade. This is a reset. 1. The $11 billion decision that shocked the Pentagon. For a moment, the F-22 was on the chopping block. Retirement plans were openly discussed. Then suddenly, the Air Force reversed course. Instead of pulling the plug, it committed over $11 billion to modernize the Raptor through the 2040s. That decision wasn't emotional, it was strategic. War games showed something uncomfortable. Against China in the Pacific, air superiority was no longer guaranteed. The problem wasn't stealth or speed. It was endurance, data flow, and range. The F-22 was designed for a different era: shorter missions, closer bases, less data-dense warfare. China's rise forced a rethink. This upgrade isn't about making the F-22 better. It's about making it relevant again when distances stretch across oceans and every second of sensor data matters. 2. The Pacific problem. Why range became a life or death issue. The Pacific theater is brutal. Vast distances, few bases, long overwater flights. China operates close to home. The F-22 doesn't. Analysts identified the aircraft's range as its most dangerous weakness. In a Taiwan scenario, Raptors would burn fuel just getting to the fight. That's why the most visible change is also the most critical: new stealthy external fuel tanks. These aren't the old drag-heavy tanks. They're low drag, radar optimized, and smart eject capable. Combined, they increase combat range by up to 37%, pushing the radius to roughly 825 nautical miles, a game changer for Pacific operations. More range means more time on station, more persistence, more flexibility. It turns the F-22 from a sprinter into a long-distance hunter without sacrificing stealth. 3. The Super Raptor. Reveal. First, real images changed everything. Until 2024, most of this upgrade was theory. Then cameras caught something different on the tarmac. The so-called Super Raptor appeared with unmistakable changes. New tanks, new pylons, new pods. This wasn't a mock-up. This was hardware. Those pylons matter more than they look. They use advanced smart rack technology that controls weapon or tank separation with extreme precision. Less drag, cleaner ejection, lower radar signature. This is engineering aimed at stealth at every phase of flight, not just cruising. The message was clear. This upgrade is real, flying, and already testing. The F-22 isn't waiting for the future. It's adapting now. 4. The sensor blind spot that finally got fixed. One of the most surprising weaknesses of the F-22 was what it didn't have: an infrared search and track system. No IRST meant reliance on radar, powerful but detectable. In modern warfare, staying passive can mean survival. The new wing-mounted pods likely house an advanced IRST similar to what the F-35 uses. These sensors detect heat, not radio waves. That means spotting enemy aircraft or missiles without giving away position. It restores the holy trinity of air combat: first look, first shot, first kill. Production is expected to begin around 2028, with deliveries soon after. Combined with radar upgrades, this finally pulls the F-22 into modern sensor warfare, where information is as lethal as missiles. 5. AM-260. The missile designed for enemies. You can't see, every fighter is defined by its weapons. And this is where the upgrade gets scary. The AM-260 Joint Advanced Tactical Missile was built specifically to counter China's long-range PL-15. Its goal is simple: kill targets before they know a fight has started. Exact numbers are classified, but credible estimates place its range between 200 and 400 kilometers, possibly more. That's potentially double the reach of existing AMRAAMs. Add Mach 5 speeds, two-way data links, and advanced guidance, and you get a missile designed for near-peer warfare. Live fire testing began in 2023. The Air Force has openly stated it's their #1 air-delivered weapon priority. This missile doesn't just extend reach, it reshapes engagement rules. 6. The engine upgrade. That quietly changed the power equation. Weapons and sensors grab headlines, but engines decide everything. The F-22's F-119 turbofan was already legendary, yet age was becoming a problem. That's why the Air Force quietly awarded $1.5 billion to Pratt & Whitney. Not for a new engine, but to make the existing one smarter, stronger, and cheaper to run. This upgrade isn't about raw thrust alone. It introduces usage-based lifing, advanced system monitoring, and software-driven performance gains. Maintenance is now done when needed, not on fixed schedules, cutting downtime and cost. Software changes alone are expected to improve thrust response and kinematic performance across flight regimes. At full afterburner, each engine already produces 35,000 pounds of thrust, more than the legendary SR-71. Now it does that with better reliability, lower operating costs, and longer service life, keeping the Raptor fast, lethal, and sustainable. 7. The $400,000 helmet and the hidden billion-dollar parts behind the F-22. The F-22 isn't expensive because of one thing. It's expensive because everything on it is extreme. Start with the pilot helmet. Each advanced helmet costs around $400,000, packed with integrated displays, night vision optics, threat queuing, and secure communications that let pilots track targets without looking at cockpit screens. Then come the engines. Each F-119 engine costs roughly $10 to $12 million, and with 2 per jet, propulsion alone crosses $20 million. The AN/APG-77 AESA radar adds another $8 to $10 million per aircraft, while avionics, mission computers, and secure data links push costs even higher. The stealth coating is another silent money drain. Maintenance and materials tied to radar-absorbent skin cost millions per jet every year. Add electronic warfare systems, sensors, and weapons integration, and the true price of one combat-ready F-22 quietly climbs well beyond $200 million. 8. Why stealth still wins before the first shot is fired. Stealth isn't just about radar invisibility. It's about signature management across every spectrum. The F-22 remains nearly invisible on radar, often appearing smaller than a marble. But what makes it terrifying is how it hides heat, sound, and intent. Internal weapon bays prevent radar spikes. Serrated engine nozzles reduce infrared signature. Supercruise allows sustained supersonic flight without afterburners, eliminating massive heat blooms. The upgrades enhance this advantage by preserving stealth even with added range and sensors. In modern combat, the first aircraft detected is usually the first destroyed. The Super Raptor is designed so enemies never know it's there, until missiles are already inbound. 9. The brutal cost problem. No one likes to talk about. The F-22's biggest enemy isn't China, it's cost. Estimates place operating expenses between $68,000 and $85,000 per flight hour, nearly double some alternatives. About 50% of maintenance is tied to preserving its stealth coating alone. It requires climate-controlled hangars, specialized materials, cleared personnel, and rare spare parts. With only 186 aircraft ever built, supply chains are thin and expensive. This is why retirement was seriously considered. But the Air Force reached a middle ground. Upgrade combat-capable Raptors, retire the least viable ones, and reduce maintenance hours through smarter systems. The upgrades aren't just about power. They're about making the aircraft operationally survivable as a program. 10. The internal war. Upgrade the Raptor, or bet everything on the future. Inside the Air Force, this is a civil war. One side wants to move on. Free funding for next-generation air dominance, a 6th-gen system with manned fighters and autonomous drones. The other side looks at today's threats and sees a dangerous gap. Upgrading the F-22 ties up engineers, factories, and time. Some leaders argue those same people are needed more for the F-35 and NGAD. Others argue that betting everything on unproven future platforms is reckless. Congress often sides with the present. War games show near-peer conflicts won't wait for perfect future systems. Until NGAD arrives in meaningful numbers, the Raptor remains the backbone of US air dominance. 11. Why this $15 billion gamble? May decide the next war when you add it all together. Range, sensors, engines, missiles, sustainment. The picture becomes clear. This isn't a life extension program, it's a bridge to the future. The Air Force isn't choosing between the F-22 and NGAD. It's buying time. Time to develop sixth-generation systems without leaving the sky unguarded. Time to deter China today, not in 2035. The Super Raptor isn't meant to fight forever. It's meant to ensure that if a war starts tomorrow, the US still owns the air on day one. This upgrade isn't about nostalgia. It's about dominance. Until the next generation fully arrives, the Super Raptor keeps the United States in control of the skies where it matters most. Every dollar, every upgrade, every decision is about winning the first fight and preventing the next one. If this breakdown gave you real insight, hit like, share it with someone who loves military tech, and subscribe for more deep dives into the weapons shaping modern warfare.